We're following two big stories closely tonight. The coronavirus pandemic making a huge impact on the Mid-South, and a tornado watch for parts of our area as strong storms come barreling this way. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Hurst.
Good evening, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. We have Team 3 coverage with the latest information on the coronavirus. But first, let's get ready for tonight's weather. Chief weather expert Tim Simpson is in the Severe Weather Center with what you need to know. Tim, fill us in.
Well, Stephanie and Greg, at this point, there's a tornado watch in effect for parts of the Mid-South. This is just north of the Memphis area. All these counties that you see highlighted in red under that tornado watch, it means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes to develop. With that being said, we'll zoom into these storms across north central areas of Arkansas. Now, these are severe thunderstorm warnings that go until 6 and then 6 o'clock. Well, you see that one just left us at 6 o'clock. Now we have another storm going until 6:15. This one cell here approaching Walnut Ridge actually had a tornado warning up until about 3 minutes ago. National Weather Service canceling that out, and now they've canceled out the severe thunderstorm warning as well. So as these storms push toward the Jonesboro area, you can look for a few more of these severe thunderstorm warnings to pop, and it looks like through about midnight tonight, we're going to be under the threat of these storms here across a large part of the News Channel 3 viewing area. Storms tonight, some of them severe, damaging winds, and even the possibility of some isolated tornadoes. We'll look at the timing of this, plus check out a soggy weekend forecast. Stay with us. Greg?
All right, see you soon. Thank you, Tim. Now to the latest on the coronavirus threat. The number of confirmed cases is rising rapidly, and today many Mid-South schools, organizations, and businesses are taking proactive measures by closing their doors, hoping to slow the spread, while others are hoping and waiting for further guidance.
We're bringing you the latest information as the pandemic continues to evolve. It is important to stay calm and use wise judgment. We know the coronavirus is just about everywhere. People in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas have it. Tonight, the question is, how widespread will it get, and how long will the outbreak last? Two big questions that no one seems to have the answer to.
The Centers for Disease Control says everyone needs to frequently wash their hands, frequently disinfect surfaces, and if you're sick, stay home. Also, avoid close contact with others in large groups, and try your best to avoid touching your face. Now, we keep repeating all of this because those guidelines are important to the nation's recovery.
Here is the latest on coronavirus in Shelby County. There are 2 confirmed cases here, and we just learned the 2 people are friends and traveled together for Mardi Gras several weeks ago. The director of the Shelby County Health Department says the person with the second case was one of the 70 contacts being monitored based on the first case's contact.
The individual was also being monitored so that signs and symptoms were picked up quickly so that the tests could be run. And as I mentioned before in previous press conferences, when someone's quarantined, they're actually having very limited contact with others. So we anticipate there will be less contacts to this particular case than the first.
The health department says other people who were also on this trip to New Orleans are in quarantine, but so far just 2 people have tested positive for COVID-19. And as we learn more about the coronavirus and how it is spread, health professionals encourage everyone to be responsible when it comes to personal hygiene.
And this includes not only washing your hands, but being careful about where you cough or where you sneeze. WRG's Quamitra Wilburn spoke with an infectious disease expert who says these are some of the best ways to help prevent the virus from spreading.
Coronavirus cases in Tennessee continue to increase daily. As of Thursday, the state is up to 18, with 2 cases being reported in Shelby County. Medical experts say at this point, it's all about containing the virus and keeping it from spreading to those who are at high risk.
You should wash your hands if you were handling items that other people could have been handling, and then you should wash them again later anyway. I mean, you just should wash your hands if in doubt.
But with flu season still upon us and now allergy season looming, for some it can be difficult to keep the sniffles and sneezes away. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Steve Threckelt says outside of washing your hands, you should sneeze or cough in your arm or in a tissue to keep germs from spreading. He says the goal is to keep the virus from getting into the air by any means necessary.
What's not helpful is coughing into your hand and then shaking hands with someone else, and then they've shaken hands with you, they fail to remember not to touch their face, and then they have inoculated your virus into themselves, and then it's off to the races.
Dr. Threckelt says he prefers people wash their hands with soap and water for 20 seconds instead of using hand sanitizer. He says in many cases, soap and water will break down the particles that the alcohol and sanitizer may leave behind. In East Memphis, Kwamitra Wilborn, WREG News Channel 3.
And our Team 3 coverage continues now with how the pandemic is impacting sporting events. In fact, since the NBA's decision to suspend its regular season, at least 2 players have tested positive for the coronavirus.
Yeah, both are members of the Utah Jazz, and the league is scrambling to test and quarantine other players as necessary. Our WREG's Peter Fleischer is live outside FedEx Forum now. And Peter, could any of the Grizzlies players be exposed to this disease?
It's a very complicated question, but we can tell you that 0 basketball is going to be played in this building for a very long time. Now, the NBA is targeting the last 10 days for the Utah Jazz. That's the team where 2 players did test positive. So we investigated every team that they've played in that time span, every official that's reffed one of their games in the last 10 days, all to find out if this pandemic could have found its way to Memphis through the Grizzlies. A timeout has been called on the NBA season for the foreseeable future, largely due to Utah Jazz players Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell testing positive for the coronavirus. It's the first stoppage due to illness in the history of the league, causing an unprecedented disruption worth billions of dollars. But league officials say they're prioritizing health and safety.
This is effectively self-quarantining everybody because it's our responsibility to be vigilant, and the players are in a unique position because wherever they are, people want to come up to them.
The league is reportedly telling every team that played against the Jazz over the last 10 days to self-quarantine. In that time span, they've played in 5 different cities across the country. They've had 15 different officials and played in front of more than 86,000 fans. The Grizzlies haven't played against the Jazz since they came to Memphis on December 7th, and our research shows they've had no mutual opponents and no shared referees during the time span in question. They appear to have no direct contact to COVID-19, but even before the league shutdown, they were preparing for the worst.
Hope it's not going to get there, but we just got to stay safe, stay healthy, and nobody wants people to get sick, so just got to follow the protocol.
We're trying to educate them as much as possible. There's rapid new information coming every single day. At the end of the day, just the health and the safety, regardless of the situation, obviously is paramount to us on an everyday basis.
WREG reached out to the team about player testing and self-quarantine, but they referred us to a statement until further notice. It reads in part, "We appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we work through this together." Now, the coronavirus isn't just affecting the NBA, it's basically shut down the entire world of sports. WREG's Megan Rice is live in Fort Worth, Texas, where the Memphis Tigers basketball team was supposed to play in a crucial AAC tournament this week. Megan, none of that's going to happen now.
That's right, Peter. No games here in Fort Worth as the AAC tournament has been canceled earlier today. The NCAA tournament canceling March Madness a little bit later. Now, I had a chance to speak with the Tiger players and Coach Penny Hardaway before they boarded the buses to head back to Memphis earlier today. Obviously, all of them very disappointed in the fact that this season has been canceled now, and the fact that, well, the thing that they love to do the most, and that's play basketball, is now over. We're going to hear from them coming up later in sports.
All right, thank you, Megan. A lot of sports fans are disappointed as well. Well, Shelby County School students are now out of class until at least March 30th. That means over 100,000 Mid-South children will be staying home. Many other private schools and daycares are following suit, while the municipal school districts are staying open for now. SCS tells us they are working on a plan to distribute meals beginning March 23rd. The Mid-South Food Bank is also offering help for low-income families. They're assembling boxes with a 2-week supply of food to distribute to agencies they partner with. Other organizations and churches are also making plans to provide meals.
And here is some new information to a story we had last night at 6. This year's Beale Street St. Patrick's Day Parade has now been postponed. Officials say it will be held on April 11th, the day before Easter. Many other events have also been canceled or postponed, including Disney on Ice at the Landers Center. We have a running list of school closing and events that have been canceled on WREG.com.
Well, it's time for spring cleaning, but the coronavirus is having a big impact on at least one environmental cleanup here in Memphis.
Coming up next on the news at 6, how travel bans and other protective measures are having a big impact on cleaning up McKellar Lake.
Your number one 6 p.m. newscast, WREG News Channel 3.